What's the best form of marketing is word of mouth. When your customers talk to another customer, that is, and they give you validation, that is the best. Testimonials are very important. Public relations is important. And what we've learned from this last election with Bloomberg, is he spent $500 million on television, didn't move the needle. TV and conventional media is dead. And I think that people are getting numb to the internet. So testimonials are very, very important.
Why do you think, why is word of mouth so important? Is it that we inherently, sort of social proof that we trust other people? Like, why is that?
Oh, because a human being is validating who you are. And you know, you could tell if the testimonial is a bunch of BS because people have a good bullshit detector. You know, the best company strategic plan I've ever seen in my life? Walmart. You know what the strategic plan is? We sell for less. Everybody, the customers understand it, the workers understand it. We sell for less. We had a Super Bowl ad, and the advertising agency he came in for 45 minutes telling us what they did for the ad, the focus groups and all this bullshit. And then we finally saw the ad. Now, do I want to have that 45 minutes beforehand? Don't I want to just see the ad like my customers? Like, why do I don't have better. So I would just dog and pony shows. Just tell me what it is and net it out.
How was the ad?
Terrible. We were next to the bottom of all the Super Bowl ads, right above Dodge trucks. We were like 95th. It was a really defeated. Yeah, it was once again, it was one of those complicated ads.
Did you like the ad before it aired?
I spent all that money. I loved the ad. Hell yes. I had no choice. He showed it to me on a Thursday. If I was going to run on a Sunday. I would love that ad Thursday. Sunday, I liked the ad. But then Monday morning, when we got rated next to the bottom, I hated the ad.
What advice would you give to a founder who is worried about their business right now and considering pivoting, given everything that's going on with coronavirus and events and so forth?
That's what an owner is supposed to do, is always think about pivoting. That's just incumbent on an owner. Why would now be any different than any other time? You're always thinking about how to pivot to your customers' needs. You're always thinking about where the low-hanging fruit is. And if you're not, there's a quote in yoga. It's important to rediscover who you are every day. So if you're not pivoting and thinking about how your competition is going to wipe you out or what you can do more to take care of your customers, you're not being a good owner. If you're not doing that constantly, you got a problem.
What was it like when you sold your business? Were you able to let go of all of that or no?
Yeah, it was really easy cashing that check and not having all that financial pressure. It was very easy for me to do that. And I really enjoyed not having all that pressure. You know, when you're young, responsibility is cool. When you get after a certain age, responsibility becomes a burden. And you got to have that little clock. And I never really wanted to work past 50. Mm-hmm. So around 50, it got to be a big burden. 25,000 workers, worrying about them. And, you know, you have a lot of responsibility when you employ somebody. They're like somebody really trusting you to do a capable job and be in business and make sure that they have health insurance and pension plans and all that. I took that part of my job very seriously.
You mentioned when I asked what people would be surprised about, and you said flirting with bankruptcy.
The fear of failure is very motivating. I didn't really have an option to fail. I'm not a very capable person. I can't read well. I'm not mechanical. So if I lost my business, I don't think the world was going to say, oh, let's hire Paul. He's a capable person who can do some stuff. Most people in business manage their career. They don't manage the business. And if I could relive my life, I would have insisted on more candor from the people I worked with. Candor is a very important thing. And a lot of times you get an executive, you get a little mahogany row, and people don't tell you the truth. The truth is in the lunchroom with your workers. The truth is traveling with your salesperson to find out what the hell what the customer wants. The truth isn't in your mahogany people with the mahogany kind of mentality. An owner should be out there in the lunchroom, out there with your salespeople. If you took over American Airlines, the first place you should work is at the ticket counter. understanding from their perspective on through the organization.